Hare Krishna. So, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Guru Parambara ki jai, Sri Sri Radha Rajarajeshwar ki jai. So, by the mercy of the powerful demigods, the Pandavas were born, and Kali Yugas or personified Kali Yugas, expansion, a little bit of expansion, Duryodhana have taken birth. So he is the root cause of the entire, bringing the entire dynasty down. Of course, Shakuni is actually the guy who was framing all these things, poisoning Dhritarashtra and Gandhari also blind. Because they were blind, in front of them, any actions they actually do, they may not know. Any kinds of tricks. Only they can hear, but they cannot see anything. That is the another problem. So now here, after Pandus passing away from this world, the Pandavas need to be brought back to the kingdom. And they were all children. And they were brought along with Kunti to Hastinapur. And before that, Shakuni already trained Duryodhana to go against the Pandavas. When the mission increased into the extent that they could not resolve the matter, Bhishma Dev intervened. The one of the main problem the Kurus, the Kuru elders faced was Bhima's disappearance all of a sudden. Because Bhima was poisoned in the cake. It is mentioned by Mother Kunti in the Srimad Bhagavatam, in her prayers to Lord Sri Krishna. Vishan Mahagne Purushada Darshana Asat Sabaya Vanavasa Krashrida Mrude Mrude Maharadastrayo Droni Astrachasma Harer Avirakshida. Vishan Mahagne, giving poison in the poisoning the cake and trying to feed Bhima and killed him, threw him into the water of Ganges. And because of Krishna's mercy, Mother Kundi says Bhima was revived. He came back to life. Because beneath the Ganges there were Nagaloka. So there were so many snakes, cobras. When they saw this new prey for their food or whatever, they began to bite. So all those poison they extracted from his body. And Vasuki gave him a special benediction and power to become thousands of more times than now. So he gave him some kind of nectar to drink. So by having that, he became powerful. Meanwhile, the Kurus were very, very, very disturbed and suffocated. And Mother Kunti began to weep. And everywhere, the soldiers were going around trying to find Bhima. Ultimately, one day, after several days, he came back in a mysterious way, which satisfied everyone, made them happy. However, Yudhishthir told him not to tell anything that happened with him to any Kuru elders. So, just pouring oil on the fire, it will only increase the flame. So, now we all understood they have gone to that extreme that they were ready to even take the life of the Pandavas. So this is all the plan of Gandhara prince Shakuni. So while doing this, when Bhishma Dev understood the whole thing, he was very angry at Shakuni, and he found Shakuni is the cause of all these dissensions between these children. In one side, they were trying to bring them together, and the other side, they were only going further and further away from one another. In the end, they had to search for a spiritual master, send these kids to this school, Gurukula school. It is necessary, martial arts and studying the Vedas and morality and having other scriptural knowledges. It's essential for people because material life means so many commotions, dangers, mishaps. To face all these uninvited troubles, one has to have knowledge. The problems are nothing but ignorance, and it can be destroyed by the weapon of knowledge. Without knowledge, proper knowledge, is not this school 2 plus 2, 4. It may help to get a job and get some money and all, but controlling the mind and pacifying the mind, these kinds of money and knowledge will not work. The knowledge has to be the spiritual knowledge. Because in the Vedas, the Vedas teach everyone how to live a happy and peaceful life by following the rules and regulations. That can be rules and regulations to the body, to the mind, to the soul, to the intelligence. So when we follow strictly, then we would know how to deal with the objects of this world. So therefore, the spiritual knowledge is essential. Ignoring this spiritual knowledge is just digging well for our own fall. So spiritual knowledge should not be ignored at all. We most of the time have no interest in devotion service to God. We need immediate happiness. So therefore, instead of listening to the lectures and act based on that knowledge, we like to watch movies, YouTube or WhatsApp, Google, and this and that. This is what going on. So how we will be able to survive when we are inside the ditch? Someone actually throw a rope. We don't want to take it. We will see these all things when we become 60, 70. How many people of 60 and 70 is sitting and chanting Hare Krishna? Unless they are trained when they were teenager or boy, they'll never be able to take up devotion service after 50. There will be always excuses and mind never cooperate. So therefore it is essential to go to Gurukul and learn from the spiritual teacher. Tadvidhi pranipadena pariprashnena sevaya should have thousands of questions at hand. And mood, service mood has to be there. In a humble way. Not so puffed up to a saintly people. It will destroy. None of your opulences can actually attract sadhus. They're already renounced. Even if they want all these things only for the service of the Lord, not for themselves. So, we should meet such qualified spiritual teacher and learn from them. Pariprashrena seva upadekshantide jnanam jnaninas tattvadarshina. So such a personality, because they have seen the truth, they can instruct you to also become qualified and genius in spiritual science. So therefore it was essential for Bhishma Dev to send all these kids. So much non-cooperation, always fighting for everything. In Kali Yuga, own children, if you have few children, they will be fighting each other. Because the parents are the same, they try to talk, make them understand. What to speak of the brothers' children. Here, especially hankering for the power without qualification. That is Duryodhana. When he was 16, 17, he wants to become the king. So, that is the training Shakuni had given to him. So, what can be done? So now Bhishma Dev, exercising his own power and position, he sent these kids to the Gurukul of Dronacharya. So Dronacharya is a martial arts teacher, actually. He has the science of fighting arts. It's called Dhanurveda. So all those knowledge of, because Kshatriyas needs that kind of knowledge, it is compulsory, because they are going to be the administrators. Brahmanas never become administrators. They knew the knowledge and they guide the Kshatriyas, but they personally do not occupy the position. So the Brahmanas are the head of the society, socially. Sannyasis are the head of the spiritual societies. So there is a social life and spiritual life. So they dictate or direct the Kshatriyas how to rule the world. The Kshatriyas are just puppets. But sometimes the Kshatriyas have some kind of policy that they have to adopt immediately. That also has to be given by the Brahmanas. But because the misuse of the kingdom, the people like Dhritarashtra began to think the kingdom is my own, and therefore my son should be the next king. I got the injustice, even though I am the oldest, but I didn't get the power. But my son is the oldest and he has among all the other children, but now he has no problem with his eyes or ears or leg or hand. So he must be the king. That is Dhritarashtra's imagination. The qualification, the quality and qualification is not required there according to him. He is my son, therefore he should be in the position. But he is adharmi. He doesn't follow any dharma at all. Dharma is in his fingertip as a slave. So he doesn't care for any true orders. So after going to the Gurukul, Dronacharya trained them and they all become young men and learn all the arts. Arjun came first and he had the qualities and he had the bhakti for spiritual master and he developed all the qualities. Of course, Yudhishthir Maharaj also, but Dronacharya likes Arjun more because he saved his life. It was not saving, but when the test is actually put in front with a crocodile, Arjun dived into the water and tried to fought with the crocodile and killed the crocodile. So none of the other disciples did it. So naturally he developed a personal feelings for spiritual master to protect his health, protect him. But others, no. They didn't do that. Just like Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's spiritual master, Ishvara Puri, he served his spiritual master, Madhavendra Puri, very nicely. He took care of him A to Z of his living when he was at his ashram. He was taking care of everything and he blessed him. Spiritual master blessed him. So naturally it is the service and quality the disciples develop, they get the blessings proportionately. And by which Ishvara Puri got a disciple like Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. This is Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself, who is Krishna himself. All because of spiritual master's mercy. So he got God as his disciple. So it's a mercy of spiritual master that disciples get blessings, and the disciples should have that service mode. So without service mode, nothing is going to happen. So the kids were all educated and grown up, and now they are going to go back to the kingdom of Hastinapur. So we will continue the first verse in several parts of Bhagavad Gita. So this must be a sixth part. And we may have 2, 3 more. When Mahabharata war starts, then Bhagavad Gita actually would be spoken by the Supreme Lord. Till that time we will discuss. We will not go to the end of the Mahabharata. We will go only until Krishna start speaking Srimad Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna. Thank you. Hare Krishna.